Mansingla thought for a moment and replied, "When my parents return, and as the dinner is served, say that you don't want to eat alone and ask me to eat with you in the same plate. I will pretend and say no. But if my mother says, 'It's all right, Mansing, say yes, you can eat with him,' then you must come and pull my hand to eat with you. And when it's time for bed, say you don't know how to sleep alone and ask me to sleep with you. Again, I will pretend and say no. But if my mother says, 'It's okay, Mansing, you can sleep with him,' then you must come and pull my hand to sleep with you. In this way, our desires will be fulfilled." It was time for her parents to return home from the field. She asked him to leave and hide in the alcove till she called him. Soon they returned home and saw the spear stuck on the ground near the kitchen door. Her father asked her who had come to their house. She pretended to be disinterested and replied, "Who knows? He said he was from Seitaphung." "Go and call him," said her father. Before her father could finish, she was gone. She called out in an animated voice, "Amay, my father is asking you to come in." After a brief moment, they came back smiling. Mansing's father and Vāhei started a conversation. Her father ordered her to select one of the best chicken from the coop and prepare dinner. Mansingla happily complied. As the conversation progressed, her father proposed Mansingla's marriage to Vāhei. This was the opportunity he had been waiting for, but he did not say yes immediately. He just said he would agree to do so if Mansingla was willing. The father promised that he and his wife would convince their daughter. When dinner was ready and kor was poured into cups, Mansing called everyone for dinner. As instructed by her, Vāhei refused by saying, "I don't want to eat alone. Mansing, let us eat in one plate together." "No, I don't want to eat with a stranger," said Mansingla. "It's all right, Mansing, you can eat with him," said her mother. "Avait ava, is this how you treat your daughter in front of a stranger? How can we eat together in the same plate?" said Mansing, and acted as if she was angry. Vāhei pulled her hand and said, "Come on, Mansing, don't you want to eat with me?" With a shy look, she joined him. The pleasure of sitting and eating together made it seem like they were living in a different world. After dinner, Vāhei and her father resumed their conversation. When it was time to sleep, Khalengshāng asked Mansing to prepare a bed for Vāhei. She went to the bedroom and took out the best bedclothes from her box and made his bed. When it was done, she came back and said, "Amay, your bed is ready." Vāhei looked at her and said, "I don't know how to sleep alone, Mansing. Let us sleep together." "No, how can I sleep with a stranger?" said Mansingla, pretending to be angry. "Mansing, it's all right, say yes," said her mother. "Avait ava, is this the way you treat your daughter in front of a stranger?" asked Mansingla, pretending to be shocked. Vāhei pulled her hand and took her to bed. According to the Tangkhul custom, they could not be solemnized in holy matrimony as they had bedded before marriage. Thus, from that day onwards, they became husband and wife. After living together with Mansing for some time, Vāhei asked his in-laws to give him permission to take her to his village, Seitaphung. So, his father-in-law Khalengshāng said, "You are the son of a rich king. We too are a rich family. We have been shamed for not being able to solemnize the two of you in holy marriage. However, you must pay us some Manho. If you can give enough Manho for our only daughter, I will also give whatever I can for you to take home to your village." Vāhei requested him, "Awo, you name whatever you want us to give you. I would like your family to line up the road from your home to my bower with black cows without leaving any gap in between. In return, I will give all I can for my daughter, said Mansing's father. With this message, Vāhei went back to his village and discussed in detail with his family and relatives. They all agreed upon the plan, and a date was fixed for the ceremony. On the day of the ceremony, as promised, hundreds of black cows were seen on the road from Seitaphung to Zingtai over a stretch of 8 kilometers. People recognized the wealth of Vāhei by the Manho that he had paid. The villagers of Zingtai took their flutes, trumpets, drums, and Tingteila to accompany the couple back to Seitaphung village. There was much merriment, and the streets of Zingtai were crowded with people from many villages. They started marching from Mansingla's house and proceeded towards Seitaphung, showcasing the wealth and power of the two rich families. None had witnessed such joy and exhibition of wealth in the history of the Tangkhuls. Thousands of people from both the villages as well as their neighboring villages accompanied the couple. Rich food and the best core were served at every stop along the way. When they were about to reach Rong Ngayi, a huge storm, the likes of which they had never seen before, engulfed the procession. They could not see through the dark storm, accompanied by rain, and everyone ran for their lives. Vāhei and Mansingla got separated in the midst of the storm. Vāhei desperately searched for his beloved, but the crowd and the storm made it impossible for him to find Mansing. When the storm died down, Mansingla was nowhere to be found. She had been taken away by the storm. Some said they saw her being swallowed by the earth. Vāhei was so broken-hearted that he almost lost consciousness. The joy and merriment turned into a tragic event. The two families parted, and there was no communication between them for a very long time. We have to remember that the pledge given to the goddess by Mansingla's father had to be fulfilled. Her parents had been indebted to the goddess for giving them wealth, and the beautiful Mansingla and the gods do not take promises made to them lightly. One version of the story was that Vāhei also jumped into the Ngayi and was united with Mansingla in death. However, the more plausible and popularly known version narrated by the elders was that she was seen by many passers-by of Rong Ngayi weaving clothes inside the lake. Some even say they see her drying clothes in the sunlight outside Rong Ngayi. Stories of Mansingla's beauty and her mysterious disappearance and reappearance in the lake reached the ears of the Meitei Maharaja Laishram Singh. He sent many of his soldiers to fetch her, but when they tried to reach her, poisonous snakes bit them, and many of them died at Rong Ngayi. An oracle was consulted to find way to bring her out. The oracle advised that only Kuishi Khai alone could kill the snakes in Rong Ngayi. They made boats filled with Kuishi Khai at the base and started removing the water from the lake. When the snakes attacked them, they used Kuishi Khai to cut them down, and slowly all the poisonous snakes in Rong Ngayi died. After many days of effort, Rong Ngayi dried up, but there was no sign of Mansingla in it. They looked everywhere, and just when they were about to give up, they found a door locked by a crab. They killed the crab and unlocked the door. That was the reason why, even to this day, the Meitei people call a lock Waiku, which means crab. When they opened the door, they found Mansingla seated on a bed. They also found dozens of Tangkhul shawls and Mekhalas in her bedroom. They brought Mansingla to the Maharaja. Laishram Singh was so impressed by her beauty and talent for weaving that he took her as his wife. But when the Maharaja tried to bed her, he found her private parts missing. Maharaja was so insulted that he decided to kill Mansingla. He ordered his servants to make a box big enough to contain Mansingla and to leave a small hole for her to breathe, and ordered them to put her there and cast the box in a whirlpool. Accordingly, she was left to die. Meanwhile, Vāhei heard about the capture of his wife by the Maharaja. He also came to know that Leishram Singh had put her in a box and left her to die in a whirlpool. Vāhei put on the same clothes he had worn when he met Mansingla for the first time. He took his flute and spear and left for the plains towards Imphal. After many days of searching, he found the box circling in the whirlpool. He took the flute and played the most melodious song ever. After the song, he called out in a loud voice to Mansingla and said, "Mansing, I can't live without you. If you truly love me, come back to me again." Defying all forces of nature, the box containing Mansingla swirled out from the water towards Vāhei. He broke the box and found his wife Mansingla as beautiful as ever. The goddess of Rong Ngayi held no power over her anymore. With the death of the poisonous snakes, she had been rendered powerless. The Maharaja Leishram Singh turned out to be a blessing in disguise for the two forlorn lovers. Neither the gods and nor the forces of evil could separate the true love of Vāhei and Mansingla. Vāhei took her back to his village and they lived happily ever after. In the olden days, people believed that they could see the goddess of Rong Ngayi drying her clothes on Zingtai Peak when the sunlight appeared immediately after the rain. A very popular garment, Mekhala of the Tangkhul Naga girls, Kaurui is believed to have been reproduced from that of the fairy of Zingtai Peak when she hung out her garment to dry. One can also find a well on top of Zingtai Peak where Mansingla used to fetch water from. At present, there are no inhabitants in this historic village, but the story of Mansingla has been passed on through generations. Poets continue to write poems about her and beautiful songs dedicated to Zingtai Kaphung and Mansingla.